Okay, so we had a little bit of an incident where we almost got really cool new things that make us not sound like trash, but we broke them. Yes.
Okay,
So-
welcome to Transcendent Podcast.
Transcendent Podcast has now changed our names because
Still sucky, but...
because Arson is the tackiest name ever. I'm sorry, but I just sound like a really edgy emo guy.
Didn't we make up that name while you weren't here?
No, I was
No,
just
no,
like,
no, there's a story behind
my
it.
Latin
Okay.
teacher had a friend whose name was Arson, so I'm just gonna make it Arson.
okay.
So
Anyways, new names.
York is now Dale. Lincoln is now
Cal.
Cal,
A-A-L, Cal.
and Arson is now Waltz because Christoph Waltz is my husband. If you saw the previous podcast,
And Oswald
Waltz.
isn't here again, so he gets to continue being Oswald.
Yes.
Until he convinces us
he
otherwise.
gets to keep his historic historic name. All right,
Alright, today we're talking about villains.
villains are really
Let's
interesting.
talk about the bad guys.
The bad guys.
Or the misunderstood good guys if you're a Tumblr girl.
Yeah, they're pretty bad guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, and let me preface with that. I didn't even put this on my list, but I just thought of this. If any of you have seen American Horror Story, specifically season 1, there was a character named Tate in season 1, and Tate was this boy who shot up a school in a very graphic scene, and Tate was very much not a good person and was very detrimental to the main characters. However, a lot of people found Tate extremely romantically attractive because he was really sweet and helped save one of the main characters, and she tried to commit suicide, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Tate is my ideal boyfriend, but in reality, he was just a really crazy guy who shot up a school and was really bad news. And I think that's the real crux of what we're trying to get behind here. All the really good villains blur the lines between good and evil really well. There's not really a clear distinction if they are really the good or the evil guys, and they can honestly fit on either list, because sometimes when a villain is too straightforwardly evil, they lose that quality of humanity within them, and they're not really as much a villain as they are a monster.
For the sake of variety, I think one of us should jump in here.
I've got, some,
I-
very,
that was- that
I've
was
got
the-
some very clearly bad people on my
Yeah,
list.
there are good villains that have no redemptive quality.
Yeah.
That's true.
Let's come up with an example. You go first.
No
because-
redemptive qualities. I've got the Nazis from Schindler's List. I've
Just
got
go
the
with
Nazis from
Just go
Captain
with
America.
the Nazis in
and
general.
I've got the Nazis from Captain America 2, which may or may not include the Russians. I don't think they were all that bad. I liked the Winter Soldier.
The Russian Nazis are the worst Nazis.
You never know, man.
This
You
is
never
true.
know. The computer Nazis, the 60s computer Nazis,
Zola's pretty rough.
that was pretty trippy. Yeah, Nazis in general are usually bad guys. Even Indiana Jones is Nazis.
Yes, Nazis are generally bad guys. That's a terrific
Except-
observation.
No, even in Valkyrie, the Nazis are the bad guys.
Although Schindler was technically a Nazi, but he didn't.
Technically, but he was a nice Nazi.
Okay.
He was a nicey.
Okay.
Nice.
So you brought up Captain America. So I have a subtopic. Who's the best Marvel villain?
Tumblr's gonna say Loki.
Well, obviously.
And you put Loki on your list, so don't be so judgmental.
No. I just think that my favorite bad guy that we've had thus far is Thanos, and he hasn't even relatively done anything.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't say that, is because he hasn't done anything.
But he will.
But just being spooky doesn't make you a great villain yet.
No, but
yet.
Yeah.
I
He's gonna
understand,
wreck
I understand
everything.
that in 50 years or whatever, when the movies come out, he's going to be like the best villain ever. But
Our
right now, he's
grandchildren
not.
are gonna be so scared of him.
I know.
The only villain who can be a good villain by just being spooky is Christoph Waltz. No one else can be.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna have to kind of agree with him on that.
Do you know how ominous that shadow was? It was extremely
It was
ominous.
really ominous.
Go watch the
Talking
Spectre
about-
trailer. If you
I
haven't
guess
seen
we're
it yet.
done with Marvel villains. So now
No,
we're
no.
gonna-
No, wait.
No,
but
because we can also do a subtopic of James Bond villains.
No, but you universally agreed with Thanos, and I have no authority on this topic. So
No,
I'll
I said I didn't think.
It could be.
How about the
Thanos
Red
was-
Skull though?
Red Skull was
Hugo
good.
Weaving being Hugo Weaving.
No. Do either of you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
Didn't
No,
think
I thought
so.
about it, but
Wait, it's not like a doing drugs sort of thing. It's like,
No.
once I was tempted to, but I managed to.
No,
no,
they
okay.
could be that bad.
It's as
You
in
never know.
I have too much stuff to do,
All
so
right,
I mean
fair
it's on
enough.
my list, but I haven't seen it yet.
All right. Well, I don't want to. If either of you eventually ever get around to it, I don't want to spoil it. But there is a very good plot twist that goes along with Winter Soldier, because one of the main characters turns out to be Hydra, and up to that point, that character had been very boring. And then that twist came, and it was like, holy crap, that's actually a really good character.
It's the
a really
main
good
character.
villain.
Probably.
It's Coulson. Coulson was Hydra the entire
Coulson was
time.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah. No.
He shot Loki with the gun in the Avengers, and he was like, "Hail Hydra."
Yep. All right, so we can move on to James Bond villains now.
Jaws. I like Jaws.
Jaws is
I've always liked Jaws.
I like Jaws.
Jaws is classic.
Okay, well, the first James Bond movie I watched was Goldfinger, and I don't think that Goldfinger was a very good Bond.
Goldfinger was not. Oddjob was a terrific henchman.
Odd
Yes.
Job. How come all like the sidekick type villains are the best ones? Because
that's-
those are not like main story crux villains.
Oh my gosh, no, Man with the Golden Gun. I loved his little midget
His little
assistant.
Knick-Knack is
Knick-Knack is my favorite.
Back to the sidekicks again.
No, that's what that was the point, was that
I know.
the guy in Man with the Golden Gun was literally just a guy who had a golden gun, but Knick-Knack was like so great.
Excuse you, it was Count Dooku with a golden gun.
That's true.
Hey, but Daniel Craig has had some real assholes to deal with.
Yeah, but
Silva?
they don't have very good henchmen though.
Ooh, I liked
Silva doesn't have any good henchmen.
I like the scene where Silva they ripped his teeth. He ripped his teeth out. That was
where he basically became Jaws.
yes. I also I mean everyone loves the gay scene because that was really clunky and awkward in there, but
Yeah, I thought it worked.
I thought it was okay, but it was just like, oh, you're rubbing his thighs now. Okay.
Lol. That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who else? Christopher Walken.
It's his
First off,
birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday, Christopher Walken. I'm so excited.
He made a very strange James Bond villain.
Yeah, it was strange is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of South Africans, sorry, a good friend of ours just walked in.
Good.
Should
No.
no.
No, he's not deciding.
South Africans for the win. Everybody in District 9 is pretty much an asshole, except for the aliens.
Even Chappie. And I know he's not in District 9, but...
No, we can say he's in the District 9 universe.
The face that Cal just made when he said Chappie was full of so much hatred and disgust.
I went from 0 to like horrified in
0
0.2
to
seconds.
negative 100.
Yeah.
Alright, new subtopic. Disney villains.
No.
No.
We
Yes.
said we wouldn't go here.
We're not going to talk about Hans. I know you hate Hans, like, just as the character, but...
'Cause I didn't think it was that inventive and creative as everyone
Frollo.
made it sound like.
Frollo is, in my opinion, the best Disney villain. Because he has depth. He is obviously a bad guy. He's a horrible person, but he's not one-dimensional. He is a very deep character, and he was very impressive, and he has an amazing song.
Honestly,
Next.
I mean, like, I haven't seen many Disney movies again, so I mean, there's
Watch
not.
Hunchback. Just watch
Oh,
Hunchback.
I've seen.
Rewatch Hunchback.
I've seen Hunchback.
You're not participating in this conversation enough to have watched Hunchback recently enough for me
That
to...
was one of my favorite
Trust-
childhood movies. I
Okay.
mean, like, I loved Hunchback.
Good.
But
Rewatch it. Do it again.
okay, I'll rewatch it.
Cal, you're quiet over there.
Sorry, I'm looking at more James Bond villains.
Oh,
He's
Bring
IMDb.
it back to that. Fine, we'll just stop with Frollo if you want to.
No, I was trying to think of other Disney villains.
Maleficent sucks. Sorry, I didn't like her movie.
Alright.
I
Good talk.
haven't seen it, but I heard that it was generally consensus
It
as
sucks.
it was pretty bad.
Good talk.
Imagine if we pissed off our one fan. Like,
I
there's
know.
only one person who listens to us, and they're like, "Maleficent's my favorite movie, you asshole," and they stop listening to us.
Lose our one listener. Okay, we can talk about villains that had good intentions, sort of, like the asshole from the Truman Show.
You mean like
Alright.
J.K. Simmons from
I'm
Whiplash, which I just saw,
Which I haven't seen yet, so
loved.
shut up.
Okay. See, honestly, the good thing about Whiplash is you can't really spoil the plot. I mean, like, it's a music movie. You can
I
kind
know,
of guess where
I
it's
know,
going.
I
But the
know.
thing I liked about J.K. Simmons' character is he did a very good job of blurring the lines, and I mean, like, the entire movie is characterized by how fast-paced the dynamic is between them, because the entire movie feels like you're being hurled side to side, like you're literally being slapped across the face by J.K. Simmons over and over as you're getting, like, shot through each of the shots. But the changes in, like, the subtle nuances in J.K. Simmons' character are just fantastic, and I think that it ultimately boils down to he does love art and music, and he does want to create the best performance possible, but I mean, it's like, to what lengths he's going to push it. And I know it's not an original idea, but I mean, just people that execute that well are just fantastic actors.
Oh man, Hannibal Lecter.
He was on my list, we were getting there.
Oh. on your list of 2 people?
Yes, my list of 2
That's
people.
impressive. Hannibal Lecter's amazing. Silence of the Lambs, I loved it.
Silence of the Lambs is my favorite horror.
So freaking good.
Okay, so I know we said we weren't going to talk about Hans, but Ed Harris's character from Truman Show is named Christoph, so...
That's fine. That's fine.
But it's with a C. It's with a C.
But yeah, no, Hannibal Lecter, and I admire him for that weird noise that he makes because, yes, I cannot make that.
Improv. That was... It did not say in the script, do noises.
That would be hilarious.
Proceed with the
Or it said moo foo 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 foo, and Anthony Hopkins was like, I'm not doing that.
Hell no. I'm not getting paid enough for
When Anthony
this.
Hopkins saw that, he just took an Odin nap and he was like, I'm out.
Oh,
Just like in Thor.
Odin nap.
I like
Is
to call it an Odin
is
nap.
it like a shorter version of Odin sleep? See, look, I do know what some stuff is. I saw the Thor movie.
Speaking of superhero movies, Heath Ledger's the Joker.
Well,
also,
that goes without saying.
was on my list.
I like him a lot.
I really liked Heath Ledger. It was sad when he died.
It was.
It was a sad
I was a
day.
little too young to kind of understand.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen a single of his movies yet.
I
but
had only seen him as the Joker, so... it was yes. It was
I didn't see it until a couple years ago, so I didn't see it after until he was dead, but still sad. Poor guy.
Should we discuss video game villains? I know you're gonna say no.
No, I don't care.
Alright.
He's really butthurt about the whole thing.
Sophia Lamb was perhaps the first character I have ever truly hated in a video game.
Yep.
There are characters I really dislike. Sophia Lamb was the first one I've truly hated.
Wait,
but
game
on
machine.
Bioshock 2. But not on a I hate that they put her into the game. It's I hate her character, which is exactly what they were intending to do with her character. So it was very well done.
What is so hateful about her?
All Bioshock villains are done really well.
See, I didn't like Fontaine that much. I thought he was kind of after the twist, he's just kind of boring. He's just on the radio.
Well,
going,
that's what made him
you
great. It was the
suck so
twist.
much."
It was a twist.
I know, but after the twist, it's just like, you, I pulled your strings.
You're so dumb.
Stop coming after me. What are you doing? Tenenbaum, no, please stop. I'm dead. So, basically, in Bioshock 2, you play a Big Daddy, which means
you wear a big suit.
You get to wear a big suit, and you have been conditioned to protect Eleanor, who is like, it's a little sister that's been put in your care. She's not technically your daughter, but she is Sophia's daughter. And Sophia's like, hey, even though I'm the one that made you be conditioned to love her unconditionally, I'm taking her away from you because I don't trust you because you're a Big Daddy. Which, like, I guess motivation-wise doesn't completely make sense, but it's just throughout the game, she uses such twisted logic. She's formed this, like, religion around herself to make everyone else hate you, and she ends up, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but you and Eleanor have, like, this life bond, so, like, if one of you dies, the other one dies. So she suffocates her own daughter and makes her heart stop so that you begin to die off, and then, like, defibrillates her so that she comes back, but the bond has been broken and you just start dying naturally because she essentially killed her own daughter.
Wow.
Very evil villain.
What a mother.
Not a great mother, it's true.
Back to movies. Dr. Boulevard Trask from Days of Future Past. Peter Dinklage.
That is a good gray area.
Yes.
I mean, aside from, like, he did want to commit genocide, but, like...
but like he had good intentions.
Wasn't
there a
scene where I was like, I don't hate mutants, I actually really respect them, it's just that this is what we have to do to better humanity?
I feel like
I think so. I like Magneto too.
Magneto's almost not a villain.
I don't consider Magneto a villain. Magneto's like one of my favorite mutants.
Magneto, well, yeah.
Honestly, I like both Magnetos. I mean, Michael Fassbender.
And Ian McKellen.
And Ian McKellen.
True facts.
That's kind of the same thing with Professor X. I like both. What's the young guy's name?
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
James McAvoy and Sir Patrick Stewart.
other people, this person does not appear in a movie or a video game, but O'Brien from 1984 was a...
Spoiler, he's a villain.
Okay, well...
I know, I'm kidding.
A book that came out in, like, forever and a day ago. Spoiler for that.
Spoiler, Satan's the bad guy.
Someone
in the
spoiled
Bible.
the villain of Tale of Two Cities for me. I was really disappointed about that, because, I mean, like...
You can kind
you
of
can
tell
figure it
that
out.
it's not all right over there in France, but yeah.
Well, no
Did they-
shit.
Did they spoil the ending for you?
No, I was spoiled that by the prayer service presentation about the movies. And remember that one Issues Day, they had an Issues Day where they were talking about movies, and one of them was talking about it, and it like skipped to like book 3, like section 2, where like, what's his name? Shit, Darnay is going to France, and then I started reading it, I was like, what the hell? Skipping the entire book, huh?
That's weird. But yes, O'Brien and Matt, we're just going to spoil Tale of Two Cities as well. Madame Defarge, both very good villains.
Yeah, and
Both
also
have depth,
also
but both
villain.
are evil.
See, the thing is that I just read an entire paper on this. So I'm extremely well versed in this. The thing with Madame Defarge is like she is characterized as, and it seems really weird, but it actually is true. She's very much the femme fatale archetype, without like, except for the seduction she
Minus the
uses.
romance, yeah.
No, the seduction she uses is the allure of power. Like she uses it to like get Defarge to do things. She like motivates him with the thought of like becoming successful, but she corrupts herself with like her usage of power to the point at which she can't control it anymore, and that's what inevitably pushes her to like lose all of that control. Like in the beginning, she has like this calm, collected demeanor, but then she like dissolves into this like power-hungry person who just like senselessly tries to destroy the Manettes and eventually like shows her hand as someone who's more evil.
True.
I kind of liked Will Ferrell in the Lego movie. I thought he was a good villain.
Mr. Business.
Quite a
Yes.
jump.
I know it's
Excuse
quite
me.
a jump. I was like, I gotta get us back on track to the movies.
Yeah, I just rewatched the last 30 minutes of Lego Movie and I almost cried again.
Yeah. It's one of the best.
I actually saw it, so now I know what we're talking
Nice.
about. I
Did you not tear up? Am I the only one that teared up?
I don't-
I teared up.
Okay,
I
good.
don't cry during movies, so I
He
didn't
cries
tear up.
after movies.
I generally don't.
Or-
I generally don't like actually shed tears, but I tear up a lot. Actually, like I'm not
I don't
afraid
even
to admit
tear up. I'm a soulless demon, but
that. We know.
it's okay. You're in a safe place.
What was it? Okay, yeah. Speaking of movies, I teared up in. Matt Damon
He's
from
crying right now.
Interstellar.
Oh, yeah,
brought it
spoiler
back.
alert.
We gotta
Spoiler
talk
alert,
about it.
spoiler alert for the movie that came out. Oh, I guess it was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
Dr.
whatever.
Man, very interesting villain. I liked him a lot.
What about Hal?
Yeah.
Speaking of.
You were so okay. We're gonna say one more sentence about Interstellar because that was the most clunky transition ever.
Sorry. Say
I-
something about Interstellar. I will create a transition sentence.
All right.
Okay, I really liked when Dr. Man entered the movie. That was really when it started getting good. Like Dr. Man like made Interstellar one of the really good movies of 2014 because like his dynamic with, I cannot remember McConaughey's name right now. Cooper, there we go. Their whole their all of their dialogue together and that whole scene where he stabs him in the face and stuff like that was just
Multiple times.
was just beautiful.
It's
I really
necessary.
now, yeah.
Interstellar was a
okay.
good
I
movie.
guess
Another good movie along
About space.
similar lines. About space. Not starring Matthew McConaughey. Hal in A Space Odyssey.
9,000.
See, the thing with Hal,
I don't think we have to say the HAL 9000 part.
the thing with
I know, but you were like Hal from 2000, so I want to clarify which
The
Hal we were
thing-
talking about in case you couldn't think of the movie.
the thing from 2001: A Space Odyssey is honestly Hal probably talks the most out of everyone because there's very little dialogue. I rewatched it and it's surprising how little dialogue there is in that movie. But just Hal is just without words, he just conveys so many emotions. It's just he was one of the most classic villains of all time. I really liked Hal. He brought a lot to that movie.
Never seen it.
You've never seen
It's
2000?
on my list. I really want to, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, you've got to see it. Then you can understand all the connections between
My
them.
grandpa tried to make me watch it when I was like 5, and I was like, I can't do this.
Okay, yeah, same. That's why I just watched it a couple months ago. Because see, never make children watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, because not only will they not make it through the 10 minutes of the spaceship docking, which I was fine with because I was like, ooh, classical music, but they will not make it through the acid trip that is the third act of the movie. So unless you want people to be actually interested in the movie, wait until they grow up, because God, it was a traumatic childhood memory of mine.
Okay, so on the note of movies that are
Traumatic?
god awful to watch as a kid, The Wicked Witch of the West is pretty classic from The Wizard of Oz.
Next.
Yes, we're gonna.
I'm just saying, did that movie only scare
Yes,
me?
but
Yes.
yeah.
I was horrified as a kid.
I don't know. It kind of lost meaning for me when she said, when this hourglass runs out, I'm going to come kill you. And Dorothy could have just put the hourglass on its side whenever the witch wasn't around.
Yep.
She wasn't a smart girl.
She wasn't that great.
Oh, I almost
Neither
said,
of them were.
I almost said she's from Kansas, but then I was like, what if our one viewer's from Kansas and they're like, fuck you guys, I'm leaving.
No one's in Kansas.
Tommy DeVito.
Kansas sucks.
From Goodfellas. You haven't seen Goodfellas?
Was he a villain? He was...
I mean, there are a lot of
He was
these.
a douche.
Is that enough to make him a villain?
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
Han Solo was a douche in the
I
first
can't,
movie.
I can't make this a cohesive segue because I've never seen it. But last one, because we're about to run out of time, is do you think that Lou Bloom from Nightcrawler is a sociopathic villain? Or
Yes.
not? Because
Flat out
Jake
insane.
Gyllenhaal has said that he does not think that Lou Bloom is a sociopath. I don't know what the hell he's on, but
Alright, he's insane.
yes,
But he's not a villain, he's the protagonist. He is very much a bad guy, but villain is not the right word.
I think Norman Bates is a pretty bad person.
I think Kaiser Soze is a pretty amazing villain that
You just
we
saw the thing on my
almost
screen.
just missed.
No, I just heard Kaiser Soze and I was like, oh my god, Unusual
because
Suspect.
Agent Smith came up on my screen.
I
Like,
don't know.
right
I'm
as
sorry,
you
Kaiser
started.
Soze beat Agent
Alright,
Smith, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Kaiser Soze, that Unusual Suspects is like one of my favorite movies.
And if
of all time.
Oswald was freaking in here, he would agree with us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a loser.
Can't beat Kaiser Soze.
The guy from No Country for Old Men.
Oh, he's the first one on my list, but I decided not to.
Okay,
talk about
Paul, we're not going to add anybody else because we're running out of time.
We are out of time.
One more thing, because we just started jumping through people. The thing about Lou Bloom is I think that there really isn't a villain or a hero in Nightcrawler. I think there's just a main character.
Sorry.
Asshole. There's just a main character, and I think that the whole movie is exploring his dynamics. I think that you could possibly say that the main lady, the one that like enables him to do this stuff and won't have sex with him, she basically is also equally as evil as him. But I don't think that neither of them is really considered a villain.
Also, Darth Vader and the Emperor are pretty cool too.
Of course, they're pretty awesome.
All right, thank you. That's good.
Bye.